The first time I really noticed the skinny girl on my soccer team was on a Friday night at Fuse Sportsplex off Paper Mill. She was cute and mouthy, which I thought was hot. I just had one very, very big problem. She didn't seem to realize I existed. After games, our team would sit off the side and pull off our sweaty socks, shoot the bull before grabbing drinks or dinner. Everyone except Haley, who'd sprint out the door with her cleats in her hands and not so much as a great game, see you guys next week. I was kind of sour about it because I was in the middle of a pretty significant personal transformation. A few months before the first Friday night that she caught my eye, my first wife had left me in the most crazy, stupid, love-esque way. And in response, I'd lost a bunch of weight, bought an entirely new wardrobe, and upgraded myself from a dopey loudmouth into a handsome, smooth-talking gentleman who no woman of sound mind could resist. I asked Kelly, who organized our Friday night team, about Haley. How old was she? Was she single? Did she happen to have a thing for older divorced Hispanic dudes from New Jersey? She told me she didn't know about all that. But she did know Haley was in school at UT and was really close with one of her little sisters, who also happened to play soccer. Perfect, I thought. See, at the time, I was coaching a girls' team at Emerald. So the next Friday night I saw her, I walked over to Haley on the bench and casually mentioned how she should have her sister come try out, and I make sure she got a spot. Heck, I said, you could even bring her to practice with my older girls and hang out on the sideline with some orange slices, admiring me while I show off what great boyfriend material I'm made of. Without making eye contact, Haley told me that, nah, she wasn't going to do that. I didn't say anything else to her. In fact, I held a grudge against her disinterest that lasted for a year, until a Monday night the following summer when I was wrapping up a training session at Sansom with my girls. The adult league games were about to kick off as I packed up, but my mind was set on other things. Mainly a cluster of fried cow intestines served up oily and hot in flour tortillas at Esperanza Market on Washington Pike. Then I heard a woman's voice calling from a distance. I squinted and tried scanning to pinpoint where the voice had come from. Then I saw Haley standing in her blue and white cleats, surrounded by a bunch of dudes I'd played with before but wasn't necessarily interested in playing with again. Hey, we're down one, she said. You want to play with our team tonight? Tacos be damned, I thought. I stayed, played, scored a couple bangers, and wound up joining the team for the season. But nothing had changed in my relationship with the girl with the sweaty sideways ponytail. Every Monday night after our games, Haley would walk to her car with Jenna, the other girl on our team, and I couldn't find words to get her to stay. I was lamenting about this one night over drinks with an older, wiser friend who was also divorced but had managed to land himself an athletic younger woman the second go-round. I wanted to know his secret. He told me it was simple. I had to go on Facebook and find every free beer run, workout, or other outdoor activity in town and show up. Guaranteed there would be babes there. But what about Haley specifically? I asked. He said, that I cannot help you with, my friend. So I decided to do some detective work. Through very Sherlockian means, I stalked Haley on Instagram. I uncovered that besides soccer, she was also into CrossFit, which was just my luck, since after drinking those beers at Alliance with Matt, I had found out that the CrossFit gym across the street had free Saturday workouts, and it became my thing. Once I had memorized all the lingo, I showed up to soccer early one night. Haley was talking with Jenna off to the side while I chatted with one of the other dudes on the team. I waited for the perfect moment, and just as I heard Haley pause to take a breath, I belted out, whoa, just like totally sore from the wad, dude. I think I may have rhabdo or something from those squat snatches. Haley's ears immediately perked up. You do CrossFit, she said, turning to face me. Where do you go? Nice. After that, Haley started being nice to me and talking every Monday night about AMRAPs and EMOMs and asking whether I was going to do this or that CrossFit competition. But while things started to warm up between us, I was also starting to have some serious doubts about my ability to lock this up. Also through Instagram, I had learned that Haley was still in college. I wasn't sure about our age gap, but I knew it was big enough to make me worry about coming off as a creep who didn't know what league he played in. See, Haley wasn't the kind of girl to turn a guy down by saying she just valued their friendship too much to risk ruining it. She was a badass who responded to smack talk from Mexican dudes by calling them putos and kicking them in the shins. She might have emasculated me in public, then left behind a trail of laughter all the way to the car where she would immediately need to roll down the window to keep from asphyxiating. I finally got up the courage to ask her number, to like coordinate soccer stuff, like if we need a sub or something. And before long, we were texting, and she started to include strings of emojis at the ends of her messages. That felt like a good sign. So one night, I called, and I asked her out. She said yes, but was at the beach and wouldn't be back for a week. We could keep talking on the phone, though. I was so transfixed, talking for 5 hours to this girl from my soccer team, that after the first night, I was 95% certain I was going to marry her. But I knew for sure by the third night when I opened up to her about my divorce. Instead of blessing my heart or responding with an, "Oh, you poor thing," and acting like the call was breaking up, Haley's response was simple. "I don't give a crap. You think you're the only one who screwed up?" I swear, I could have driven the 7 hours to South Carolina and put a ring on her finger that very instant. Our first date was set for the Sunday she got back, July 23rd, 2017. I cleaned out my Honda Civic more thoroughly than I ever had before or since. And the first thing I did when she walked down the stairs of her house to meet me was ask if I could kiss her on the lips. I was so sure I was going to marry this girl that I had to go in for the grand gesture, make it something I could tell our grandkids about when they say, "Grandpa, Grandpa, what does it feel like to fall in love?" She said yes. And we made out in public view behind the passenger door, T-Swift blasting from my speakers. And then I took her to dinner at Aubrey's. The next weeks were like any other between two people who know they're in love but can't say it out loud because it seems crazy to do that so early in a relationship. And then about a month in, we went on a hike around Mead's Quarry, and Haley was acting off. Before coming to meet me, she hadn't included any emojis at the ends of her texts. On the porch afterward, she told me that she didn't think she could do it. I had dropped into her life like a meteorite and devastated every plan she had made for her future. She was too afraid she might wind up marrying me and had too much on her plate to rewrite her whole life for a divorced Argentinian who obviously wanted to have children with her. There's no cliffhanger here, considering that she's like over there holding our third child right now. The breakup only lasted 4 days until I texted her to tell her I rejected her proposal to dissolve our relationship. And she wrote back, "Thank God." By March 2018, 7 months after our first date, Haley was so impatient for me to prove that I was going to marry her that she had written out 2 new life plans. One that included me and babies and a lifetime of arguments and adventures and laughter, and another that didn't include me and sounded way more depressing and like she had only written it to show me it was about time to put a ring on her finger. We got engaged and were married on July 21st, 2 days short of a year from our first date. We don't play soccer together right now because she's 2 months postpartum and still is likely to shove a middle-aged dude in the back and then tell him to suck it up and stop being a crybaby. And I'm just as likely to stand off to the side, laughing my head off, wondering how I could have ever expected my life to turn out any differently. Her cleats aren't the same ones she wore back when we played at Fuse and Emerald all those years ago. For one of her birthdays, I went to Academy Sports and bought her a new white pair of Adidas with Messi's name written in blue on the back. Those cleats are currently sitting just inside our garage, a dozen steps from where I first wrote this story. And I can't wait to see her put them back on, so I can travel back in time and tell myself that sometimes in life, God really can take something broken and make it beautiful again. That sometimes things really do work out for the best. You just got to give it some time.